UBATOOBA, my beautiful friends. We are your supplier of good feels. My name is Lyndsey, and UBATOOBA is all about mindset, feels, and fitness. I'm not exactly sure where this video fits in, but I'm going to call it a feels video because I'm going to tell you how I dramatically improved my melasma, and it made me feel so much better, not just on the external, but mainly on the internal, because it wasn't just one thing that I did. Guys, it wasn't just the celery juice. If you're coming here from Instagram, it wasn't just the celery juice I did that changed the way my melasma was appearing or manifesting on my face. It was a whole lifestyle change. I wasn't supposed to make this video. It was just that it was really crazy. I did a post about it because people were asking me why I drink celery juice so much. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's because I have melasma. That's how I found celery juice. That's not the sole reason I do it, but when my melasma was really, really bad, which was, I don't know, circa late 2018, I'd just come back from a holiday in Malta with my girlfriend, and I had a huge brown splotch across my forehead. I had it on my chin, and I had it on my upper cheekbones. They call this the mask of pregnancy because often melasma comes about when you're pregnant, which is when you have a huge change in your hormones. So I'm not on the pill and haven't been for about 6 years. So mine wasn't brought on from being on the pill. I was sporadically on and off the pill from when I was about 17 till about 26, 27. But then I came off it because I was trying to look after my body a little bit holistically. So when melasma started coming out in my skin, I started going a little bit crazy because I was like, there is nothing that I can find that's going to fix this that isn't a really expensive laser or really expensive cream system that was going to bleach my skin. I've tried Proactive in the past because I used to think that I had acne when I was younger, and it bleached my skin. It made my skin really thin and kind of crepey, and that wasn't a route that I wanted to go down again, especially not with melasma. I also heard that lasers can actually burn the skin off and do their thing, but then make the melasma come back with a vengeance because your skin feels a little bit damaged from the heat, and also melasma tends to come out when your body thinks that it needs to defend your skin in some way. So that's why when you go in the sun, it gets way, way worse. It sends more pigment to the surface because it's trying to protect itself. So I did what any human with the internet would do, and I just trawled the internet for article after article about how can I treat melasma. And guys, I tried so many weird things. I was peeling potatoes and rubbing potatoes on my face. I tried lemons, which is super acidic. Do not do that. It kind of burns, especially if you have slightly sensitive skin, which I do. It can be a little bit dry. I was taking lots of turmeric, special turmeric supplements, vitamin D, iodine, seaweed tablets, spirulina, broccoli sprout. Broccoli sprout I do actually really love, but for a totally different reason. So I then stumbled across this thing called celery juicing by the medical medium. And I love, and I totally love psychics and the astral realm and otherworldly things. It's totally my jam. So when I found out the medical medium was a psychic and read his story about how he discovered his talent and his gift, I was mind blown. That was mind-blowing thing number one about the medical medium book. Number two was that there is this whole chapter on Epstein-Barr virus, / glandular fever, which I had when I was a teenager. And I was enthralled reading this book, page after page. I was like, this is me. I have these things. It wasn't just melasma or skin conditions. I also used to have vitiligo, which is blotchy white splotches on your back or your arms. Mine was all over my back. But I have tinnitus, I have ringing in the ears, and these are all little things that can happen after you get glandular fever because it never actually leaves your body. It lies dormant in your liver and it really wreaks havoc on your internal organs. Had I have known this, my 20s, I definitely would not have burnt the candle at both ends. I would have taken much better care of my internal system, and perhaps maybe, I don't know, that might not have turned on this whole melasma situation. But guys, when I broke up with my first boyfriend, I went out drinking every single weekend for a good solid 4 to 5 years. I don't even know. I did a lot of HIIT exercise. I was just not a healthy individual. I thought that I was because I thought I had that balance of I worked in a gym and I ate well, but legitimately, I really trashed my body through those years. And then lo and behold, I like start approaching 30 and I get these like really splotchy spots on my face. And I'm like, what on earth is going on? So I found the medical medium because I was looking for something to treat my melasma, and his sort of like magic potion was this celery juice. And he explained that by juicing just a plain celery, organic if possible, and drinking it on an empty stomach every morning helped alkaline your stomach acid and also helped flush toxins out of your kidneys and your liver. And doing this on a consistent basis really helped kill out that Epstein-Barr virus, which never really leaves your body. And I was sitting here being like, what? This is so crazy. And being a really big believer in holistic health, I was like, it's celery juice, guys. It can't hurt. So why not give it a try and see what happens? So I decided to commit to doing the celery juicing, which I did for like a full 90 days plus. I even tried to grow my own celeries before all the little bugs in the garden ate them. I'm not a green thumb, like definitely not a green thumb. I'm definitely just like a really inner health person. So I religiously decided to celery juice, and I thought, you know what, I don't drink coffee because I did want to manage my adrenals after having glandular fever. It is just, there's a whole host of things that happen afterwards. So reading the medical medium, mind-blowing, I decided that, you know what, to tackle this melasma issue, it can't just be celery juice. I'm going to have to alter my whole lifestyle. At this stage, I was already doing yoga, so I already had that as a practice, which I did start doing because I got glandular fever. Crazy how the world works. You know, you can always connect the dots looking back, but that's a different story for another time. So I decided to just manage my lifestyle as a whole lot differently. And this is what I did to improve my melasma. So I'm going to put that before photo up, and I'm going to put the after photo up, and I'm going to get up really close so you guys can see. I am wearing just 4 things on my face. So I have this, which is a 50+ sunscreen. It's tinted and it's really light wear. I'm showing you this because it's not foundation. I am not wearing any foundation. I have a slightly like a mineral powder that's just to set the foundation that also has a sunscreen in it, but I would always use a sunscreen. I'm wearing mascara and I'm wearing a tiny bit of bronzer just because I'm on camera and there's a light in my face and I don't want to look completely ghost-like. So I have 4 things on my face. I'm not a makeup kind of gal, and you can see that the melasma, which was all here, you can still see I got a few little pimples there, and all up here, that's where my melasma was at its worst. And you can tell I'm not wearing that much makeup, that it's improved so much just by doing these things. So what did I do? I started celery juicing, and I was really committed to it. If you are committed to a coffee, exchange it for celery juice and see how your body reacts. It might not be pleasant at first, but if you give it a chance, just like going to the gym consistently or drinking water consistently, then you are going to see the benefits of not stressing out your adrenals and replacing that with something like super good for your body. Number 2, I decided to prioritize my sleep. So I really wanted to manage my stress and my adrenals. So I came up with a nightly sleep routine. And that was, I'm usually in bed pretty early, but it's before I get tired. I go to bed, I read, I turn off my phone, and then I close my eyes to fall asleep naturally. Think back to when you were like a child and your parents always sent you to bed way before you thought you were tired. And then you would just lie there, close your eyes, and like eventually you just drift off to sleep. We are so wired in today's society that we feel like we need to be physically exhausted before we put ourselves to bed. No. Guys, get yourself into a sleep routine. Don't take your devices or whatnot into bed. Get into bed, do something calming like a meditation or reading, and naturally drift off to sleep, and then naturally wake up earlier because you put yourself to bed earlier, hopefully without an alarm. That was another thing that I decided to implement. I'm somebody that has always gotten up, and usually I'm an early riser generally, but I was always taking fitness classes, and waking up to an alarm at like 5 or 4:45 in the morning used to shock my body. I used to jump out of bed and feel really startled, and I knew that that shot of adrenaline to get me out and get me moving was not going to be good. So I decided to go to bed earlier so that I would naturally wake up earlier, and I made it a routine and a priority. So that also means that you're waking up during like a natural sleep cycle. Our sleep cycles roughly go for about 90 minutes approximately. If you're waking up to an alarm, you wake up halfway through your sleep cycle, you might be in REM sleep, you're going to wake up feeling really, really groggy. If you wake up naturally at the end of your sleep cycle and then wake up and do another calming activity, then you're not going to have that shot of adrenaline like running through your body, or you're not just going to feel like that memory fog, brain fog kind of thing. So this also means if you're waking up earlier naturally, then you have more time to maybe implement your celery juicing into your routine. I still teach classes in the morning, and sometimes I have to get up extra early. So I do celery juice the night before occasionally, because I'm not going to run the blender at about 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, but I'm totally okay with that. They do recommend that you have it fresh for it to be most potent, but you know what? Life is life. We just have to pivot and adjust sometimes and make it fit in with our schedule. Another thing that I did, so this would be number 3, is that I cleaned up my diet. I thought I was healthy, guys. I thought, yeah, I'm just gonna have that bowl of cereal in the morning, and then I'll have a protein shake as a snack, and then I'll have like this big rice salad for lunch. No. I was really stressing out my body with some of the foods that I was putting in that were processed, but I thought were considered healthy. Full disclosure, I am not a nutritionist. I am just somebody that enjoys health and fitness, but I decided to make a change and include vegetables with every single meal that I had. So I usually have a morning smoothie, and I put in zucchini and spinach into that without a doubt. Sometimes I even use frozen peas, avocados, lots of things that don't have a huge amount of taste, but I know that have a huge amount of nutrients. And I did that for every single meal. And it has changed the way that my skin is, not only with my melasma, but also with my vitiligo that I was suffering from on my back. Because I'm a huge believer, if there's something going on internally and it starts showing externally, we do need to take some time and address what's going on. So I cleaned up my diet and I stopped having as much processed food. So this also meant not having fruits and vegetables that were packaged in plastic, because from what I've read, excess estrogen, which is in like those plastics, they can be absorbed into the food that we eat. So if you're eating things that are wrapped in plastic, there is a likelihood that it might just sort of add to that excess estrogen. That is one thing that I did suffer from. Even though I wasn't on the pill, my hormones were slightly out of whack. So I did supplement. The supplements I took were from ATP Science. One was Gut Right and the other one was Alpha Venus. Please always check with your medical professional before you do any kind of supplementation, just to check if they are right for you. I see a naturopath and they did suggest that that was perfectly okay for me to take. Gut Right is a really great supplement just for all over good gut health. Huge believer in gut health and mind health. They are both connected. That's why they call this one the second brain. So I did that. The Gut Right protocol for 10 days and really tried to fix up my intestinal lining so that I could absorb as much nutrients as possible from those fruits and vegetables that I was having in every single meal. I also did a cyclical round of their Alpha Venus, which is an adaptogen that is supposed to clear out excess estrogen. But again, please do your own research. This is just what I did to help my melasma, and I think that it's improved dramatically. You guys can see for yourself. Then I also upped my water intake. So I drink 3 to 4 liters of water a day. I know that sounds like a lot, and I am constantly on the toilet. Too much information, but whatever. You guys want to know because you guys want to clear your melasma. So I'm not saying that there's a direct link. This is just something that I started doing, and I definitely noticed a change in my skin and also in like my under eye color under here. So that was something that I definitely upped. And I've seen a huge difference also, because that in conjunction with not having as many processed foods and not having as much sodium means that my body can sort of flush out any excess salt as well. So I have noticed like changes in my waist and in how puffy some of my like body parts feel. I know that sounds really weird, but like if I would add like, you know, all-purpose seasoning and then I would have rice. I also, we don't eat meat. That's just a lifestyle choice that we made. We don't eat meat, we don't eat dairy, and we don't have gluten. Robbie is both gluten and dairy intolerant. So that's just stuff that we just don't have. From what I've read, dairy can be quite inflammatory, and because I'm trying to look after my body from the inside out, I choose not to have those products. So that's also something that I don't have in my diet. We eat lots of like tofu and tempeh, and as I said, we just smash the vegetables like crazy. And you know, we feel great for it, like, and internally and externally, it's really, really showing. The other thing that I did do was I dropped the excess HIIT. So I used to be a CrossFit coach, and I used to love training hard. I loved metabolic conditioning, and I think that it is an amazing form of exercise for certain people. But for me, coming off the back of glandular fever and probably having some underlying adrenal issues I wasn't really addressing, doing excessive amounts of HIIT every week was not good for the feels. It wasn't great for my sleeping patterns. I feel like that I was depleted in certain things, and I generally just all around didn't look great. So I decided to, after the advice of a personal trainer that I was seeing for about 16 weeks, we only did HIIT once a week, and we kept our sessions to yoga, Pilates, and strength. And that has worked an absolute treat. It's also been really, really good for my sleeping patterns. So I'm keeping my body stresses really low by not having the excess cortisol and adrenaline released from doing those heavy workouts, but I'm still managing to build lean muscle as well as flushing out all those extra toxins. So I think I've gone through pretty much all of them. Let me just do a quick little recap in my head. Celery juice, prioritizing sleep, no excess HIIT, cleaned up my diet, supplementation, wear sunscreen every single day. And I'm pretty sure I'm testing out a light topical prescription cream. Wasn't something that I was planning on doing, and I'm not going to recommend it just yet because I probably haven't been doing it for long enough to notice any difference. But if it's any good, guys, I'll be sure to share because I am an open book. Please feel free to ask me any questions about my little melasma journey. I think I did mention, but I'm not sure. This could be the biggest one of all of them. Limit your alcohol. I don't know if I put that in there, guys. You need to limit your alcohol. So I was always, like I said, a bit of a binge drinker. When I broke up with my boyfriend, I went out and partied heaps and heaps. I went out lots of late nights. It was not good, and I was getting up most mornings because I started work at like 5:30 at the gym. What I was doing to my body. I'm so sorry, body. I'm making up for it now. But throughout COVID and through Melbourne lockdown, I have only drunk twice. I'm not a midweek drinker. I never have been. I really don't enjoy wine. I'm more of like a vodka tequila person. That's probably worse for me. So if I am going to drink, it'll be on an odd occasion. But unfortunately, like, it's usually in excess. So I know that that's not good for my melasma. But during COVID, I've only drunk twice, and the improvement in the melasma is crazy, and that's because my liver, my beautiful liver, has a wonderful chance to regenerate, and what's going on in here takes a while to clear out, and then it's still got to rejuvenate all of those beautiful skin cells. So everything's connected. It does make a huge difference. So that's one thing. If you are a midweek drinker, I'm really sorry, but I feel like you probably, if you want to work your melasma out, I definitely would not be drinking. That's like my biggest thing. Don't drink alcohol, drink lots of water, look after your internals, because as I said, huge believer in if there's something going on, if something's showing externally, like on your skin, there's probably something underlying internally. I'm not a health professional, but that's the advice that I've been given. I'm happy to share that with you, but I do think that if you do have something like that, please seek the advice of a professional always, and then you can take what you need to out of this video, because that is just the simple things that I did to fix up the skin. I'm never going to be rid of my melasma. I certainly know that, but I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I have all the good feels, and that's internally and externally. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know, because I will definitely share more of this information with you guys, because I love it. I live, breathe it, love it. And give me a big thumbs up or a like or a comment if you want to know more about this stuff, because this is not the kind of normal videos I do, but I am happy to do them because I just want to share the love, share the good feels. And if you want any more information, please hit me up on Instagram. Put my little Instagram handle up here. But I would love to see you all soon. I'd love to hear how your melasma journey goes, and big love, my friends.